um, um, you know, once again, being candid. So there's a generational delta between my work ethic and the people I manage right now. Not to beat on the fact millennials, but
Yeah.
they need to find purpose, and they are probably 9 to 6, maybe 9 to 8, even though they are in consulting firms.
Yeah.
You don't give them really cool stuff to do, they lose patience. And constantly I have to think, how do I, inspire them? How do I give them interesting stuff so they can keep going, right? And they would want to work with me.
Right.
It's not just managing the project, but also making the project interesting for someone.
Yeah.
So there's a client whom I have to deliver. There's also an employee for whom I have to, keep things going as well.
Is management something that you want to do more of in your career in the long term, or is it just a necessary evil, something that
it is
comes with the job?
Yeah, it comes with the job. I don't think so I can get away from it, right, at this point. It's not like I can go become an artificial intelligence engineer right now.
Right. Yeah. When thinking about your career now and how far you've come, literally, traveling from India, but also figuratively in terms of your career, how are the other important people in your life perceiving your career? Family, friends, mentors. Do you think about that a lot? How they perceive your career? Is that important to you? What do you think they think about your career? Just talk to me more about that.
So my parents, so I did bring them here for my graduation. To show them US.
That was probably
also,
Radio City Music Hall back then, right?
Yeah. So they did spend I think about 20-25 days here. So they know it's big, but I don't think so they can appreciate what an NYU is. They know it's like a big school, something big that I've done in my life, but I don't think so they can even articulate what big means.
Right.
It's just, that's their level of exposure. Right? And with respect to, the same holds true for extended family as well.
Yeah.
My cousins or anyone else. None of them, have gone to top schools like this.
Right.
So they know, maybe my cousins would probably perceive it as, I've gone to a big school. But I don't think so. I think about it at all.
Yeah.
So parents, extended family, friends, I think now they see it as a problem than as a good thing. They're like, oh, I know what you did. You went to B school and then you work horribly in this job. I don't want your life.
Oh, interesting.
No matter how much you get paid. So they probably look at me with pity than with any source of jealousy or whatever.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, I don't think so. This is what I think they think.
Yeah.
Some of them have voiced it. At least my friends have been on my face. I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Right.
I work a 9 to 5 job. I close my laptop. I don't open it. I don't even bring it home some days.
Right.
Yeah. So that's there. And my parents, I know for a fact how it is. But other than them, I don't think so. I give anyone else that much thought.
Right. When you make your next career move, or perhaps when you go back to India, how will the MBA and your body of work together be perceived? Do you have something that's highly transferable in terms of your resume? Do you think that this period of time studying and working in the U.S. has inherent value to others? Talk to me about that. Future employers, how they would perceive your career.
Yeah. So I think in the U.S., definitely it'll open your doors, right? The very fact that you've gone to NYU, whether you're smart or not, it's going to be a door opener for you. And more so in India because, they know it's a big school. For people who are educated. So, so definitely I think it gives me that advantage that, here's an MBA from NYU. And from a career perspective, I also think having spent 3 to 4 years in consulting gives you that edge as well. But what I'm observing in India currently is given how much the market has changed, the same holds true for China as well, right? How much the market has changed in the last 4 to 5 years, right? The speed of growth. There's coming to a point where I think I have to transfer as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be perceived as someone who doesn't necessarily know the market and how to work in the Indian environment, right?
Interesting.
It's a lot more chaos management. It's probably 5x of what I'm currently doing here. The same job if I were to do it in India.
In terms of like the business competition for potential clients or regulatory, legal stuff.
And even basic infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
So, getting on an Uber and coming here, it's so much easier in the US versus in India, right? Mm-hmm. You put on an Uber, as soon as he gets close to your place, he calls you, are you going to pay me with cash or card? I'm like, dude, I'll just pay you, go. And sometimes I don't have cash on me, he's going to cancel on you. And then next you're waiting, another 20 minutes, you're already late to your appointment, right? And that frustrates me. I've been going back and forth to India, because of my mom and other things. I've spent about 5 months in the last year.
Oh, so that happens in India?
Yes. Yeah.
Not in the U.S.
Not in the U.S.
I was going to say, I've never had anyone...
No. That happens in India. The same Uber, same services, right?
Right.
So there's a ton of infrastructure problems in India even today, which I have to manage on top of my client, my project, and my employees.
Got it.
So that is valued a lot more because you are ruthlessly prioritizing whenever you are in India and China. Mm-hmm. Versus in the US, because you take a lot of things for granted in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's someone who, if you wait too long, someone who might hire you to be a consultant in India or, doing operations or strategy or management might say he's not going to be able to deal with the chaos.
Here.
He's too soft now, having been in the US.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You said a phrase a couple of times that I wanted to ask you to clarify. You said your family and your cousins and employers in India know that NYU is a big school. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that? Do you mean literally the size of the school, or do you mean other things?
No. It's just the brand. Big school as in the brand.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think so. They know size or anything.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's how.
What is the brand? What is the NYU Stern brand? Or the MBA brand? Can you elaborate on what that means to you?
So I think irrespective of even if I had gone to a state university and got an MBA, it would have still been considered a US MBA, right? The fact that you go to a recognized school means you definitely outran a few people. So that credibility it gives you without speaking of.
Yeah.
So,
would you recommend that someone else come to Stern for their MBA? Perhaps an international student considering leaving their job and getting an MBA to transform their career or what have you? Is this something that you would recommend based on the experience that you had?
So I have mixed opinions. If you're coming directly from India, I still think it's a ton of debt to take on.
Yeah.
You should be okay with that. My next 10 years of my life, I'm just going to be repaying student loans. And be comfortable with that.
Right.
I wouldn't recommend it to, let's say, the average engineer in India. Mm-hmm. But there are bankers in India who, for whom it's just handling a different market, right? I've done investment banking in India. I want to do investment banking in the US, and I'm coming to Stern, more forced to you. It's an easy transition, and it's a no-brainer at that point. But if you're an engineer trying to come here and get an MBA and find a job, I think the odds are, you will land a job, right?
Yeah.
A job at least.
Yeah.
But handling debt and other stuff, which typically Indians are not accustomed to, you have to get comfortable with that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And in your individual experience, is there anything that you would have liked to be different about your Stern MBA experience, or anything you would do differently? If you could do it over again?
Well, housing.
Housing, okay.
Yeah, I think I would have really preferred to stay close to school. Mm-hmm. I stayed in Jersey City, which is like a 45-minute ride back and forth.
Yeah.
I think I would have definitely used that extra couple of hours in a day to just sleep, if not anything else.
Yeah.
Given how much was going on. So I would have, done that. Other than that, I think I don't think so. I would change anything from
Oh,
my
okay.
experience.
So if I said to you, you have a chance now to travel back